Yeah.
It's another day.
Feeling the
It's a
vibe
new
right here.
day. It's a new dawn. It's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good, Sean. K. Watkins.
It's a calculated mission. It's the heart
Welcome,
and the
welcome.
hustle.
He's here,
Come
man.
one, come all, please.
Someone step right up, and get your candy cones. Welcome to episode 31 of the Beat the Best podcast, friends. If you're watching this video, like. If you're on our page, subscribe, because a lot of y'all are watching and just not liking and subscribing. Sean, we have 112 people now, sir. We got 12 people since last week.
It's growing every week.
12,
I love it.
12
Love
live
it.
human souls that like to listen to your and my voice, which I find to be interesting, sir.
Yes, I'm excited about it. Listen, I can't wait till we get the bots. 30% bots, right? I can't wait till we get the bots. Let's go. That means we've made it. If
When
we
the
get
bots, when
and
the
they're
bots
coming.
flood, you know you made it. Today, friends, we're going to be talking about the World Cup finals now that we've come to the knockout rounds. And we're also going to be talking about Caitlin Clark. Love her or hate her, we don't know, but people seem to hate her. So that's our topics for today. But first, Sean, I wanted to talk to you. You know, I have a little one. You know, I've been blessed enough to have 2 kids now. And I got to say, man, this Toy Story 5 movie is cutting up the charts. And it made me realize how much those movies meant to me when I was younger, because they've been around for that long, you know?
Right. It's it's an amazing franchise, and it's not like when we were growing up in the cartoons that we watched.
Yeah.
The Woody Woodpeckers and the Bugs Bunnies, they were fun, but they were probably they'd probably be banned if they were out, because some of the stuff was going on
Woody
in those
Woodpecker.
cartoons. So, oh yeah,
Yeah, I loved Woody Woodpecker.
Heckle and Jekyll.
Heckle and Jekyll. Oh
What do you
my
know about
God.
that?
What do you know about Heckle and Jekyll, the magpies?
Yes.
You know, Toy Story has come a long way.
Right.
At first the parody of squaring off a cowboy toy with a space toy, which I really loved that whole thing. And then, you go into, I think it was Toy Story 3, where they're exiled into this child's daycare, and you had Lotso Huggin' Bear, who was doing human trafficking with toys. Yeah,
Wow,
like,
it's wild.
and now we have, the toys versus the screens. And it's rated 95% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, which is crazy. That's like The Godfather is rated 95% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. Right? So just to bring it all the way back to understand, like, toys really do play a role in your development as a child, and a tablet doesn't have the same effect of playing with your cowboy or your spaceman when you were a kid, or play with your G.I. Joes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I mean, the screen is just the screen. It's real, but it's not real, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Whereas toys, it's an object. You can manipulate it, shape it, do whatever you need to do with
Yeah.
the toy to make it do what you want it to do. It can only do so much, and it can only do what you make it do.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? And that's real life. I can only do what I can do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't listen. If I could fly, trust me, I'd be in Portland every weekend hanging out with you if I could fly, and vice versa. You
Yeah.
can come, hey, I'm just gonna fly and come on down to Vegas, and we'll hang out for a few hours, and I'll fly back home. You know what I mean? But that's why toys are so important. I mean, I just in general, I love my Hot Wheels,
Oh.
love my Tonka trucks,
Oh.
all of that stuff, man.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
to speak to imagination, I had a gaggle of G.I. Joe toys, and my rich white friend had the G.I. Joe aircraft carrier at his house.
oh wow, yeah, he was rich. Was balling. He, because all I had was the action figure. If he had the aircraft carrier,
Dog,
he was rich.
the aircraft carrier, we would play on that thing with you could do something. You could land the ships on it and take off with the rockets, and dog, that shaped my childhood for imagination. So I might be able to watch that on a video if I have a tablet, but I can't play on the aircraft carrier and put Destro in a headlock, and get the Cobra Commander.
Man, listen, If you listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, and for everybody that's around our age, if you put an aircraft carrier like that, or better yet, if you get a Hot Wheels racetrack
Ooh.
and put it together with the two controllers, come on, man, stop. You and I are sitting there trying to race cars for hours, cracking up
Yes.
on something so simple
I
as a race
had
car
I had
track.
the race car track where you pulled,
Yeah.
zzz, zzz, and it would
Yeah, I had that
yeah,
too.
I had that. I played for hours with those things.
Man, and the fun thing was putting him together to try to get a different track. So you just didn't want to go in a circle. Want to see if we could do a loop
Yeah.
and go around and you put some things. It was so much fun. I remember that.
How happy
I'm
were
dating
you?
myself, but
How happy were you when you finally put the loop together and got the car to go
oh,
around the loop and not fall down?
oh, you were trying to do it all day, and when you finally got it, you lost your mind. You're like, "Zzz, yes, it worked.
So I think the reason why the Toy Story franchise is so popular is because it speaks to that, right? Like you remember
Right,
all of those feelings because there's a lot of retro toys in the movie. I can't even imagine how hard the licensing department went to get all that licensed. But
right.
all those toys, the Mr. Potato Heads, the stringy dog, like the barrel of monkeys. I had barrels of monkeys hanging from the rafters, bro.
No,
So
man.
so it all makes sense that
Mm.
the movie would do so well. So I plan on seeing it. I didn't expect it to get a 95% rating because Toy Story 3 is my favorite, with Lotso hugging Bear
Yes,
because he's absolutely a
right.
psychopath holding those toys hostage. But I just love that old retro toy look, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm gonna have to check it out. I think my son went and saw it. He said he enjoyed it, which is great. He's 17,
Mhm.
and so for him to go out and see with his friends and see a movie like that, just it kind of warms my heart because I'm like, okay, even though he's growing into manhood, he still
Yeah.
wants to see stuff like that, which is great.
Yeah.
So
And anybody tap in if you had the GI Joe aircraft carrier as a kid or even now still. Feel free to tap
yes,
in because
please,
that was a legendary toy. So guys,
yes.
we're going to obviously get to brass tacks. We got Juan here with us today. He's the World Cup maven. So let's bring him on in and say what's up to our guy Juan in the
Hey,
Yes,
building.
welcome
Magnum
on.
310 is here.
it's good to be
Yes,
back.
sir.
Juan, how you doing, brother?
Good. I'm just so entertained with all these World Cup games. It's awesome. I mean, been just doing a lot of content on it.
Rocking that Brazil. I see you rocking
Yeah, I
that
love
Brazil.
I love
Yeah,
the Brazilian soccer
yeah,
jersey. I love
this
it.
is the 1998 kit. This is actually a Ronaldo kit that he featured when he played in the 1998 World Cup in France. This was awesome. I consider one of the best kits out of all the Brazilian kits that I think that they've gotten. So
How
Nice.
many jerseys do you have?
I have two. I'm still looking for that Jordan Jumpman one. That's awesome. They're like the only ones that have that Jordan Jumpman, that blue one. But I mean, it's not traditional, but it looks awesome. So I'm down to get one.
All right, well, let's get right to
There
it,
you
Juan.
go.
I'm going to lean heavily into you because mine and Sean's knowledge of World Cup soccer is limited, and I have no disrespect in saying that. So let's start it off. The group stage is wrapped up this week, and the 48 team format is set. The bracketology is set. We have a lot of matchups that people are happy to see. We have matchups that people are unhappy to see, but they're all here. They're going to start on Sunday the 28th. So by the time you see this we'll already have one of the rounds done. Canada's going to play South Africa. Bosnia and Herzegovina. Sorry if I
Herzegovina.
slaughtered that. Is going to be played.
Herzegovina.
Herzegovina. Thank you.
Herzegovina.
Going to be played by the USA. And Cape Verde is going to be playing Argentina. Juan, I'm gonna kick you the ball right there and start us off with some of those early matchups. The one everyone's talking about is the ugly one, which is Argentina versus Cape Verde.
Well, Cape Verde. I mean, salute to Cape Verde in their World Cup debut, and then making this knockout round. It's awesome, but unfortunately, their constellation is playing the world champion Argentina.
No, Payne was right. Payne was right.
Yeah,
It was right.
yeah, it is. Yeah, they're gonna be paying a heavy price because I just see Argentina rolling them, at least by 3, 4. It's just they're just a machine right now. But there's some interesting matchups here. Morocco, Netherlands, I like. Brazil, Japan is nice. I think Brazil can win. I don't have much concern there, even though the Japanese got a lot of speed, and
They're methodic.
and this is probably one of the best squads that I've seen in a long time. The reason I say Morocco is because this is probably the best Moroccan generation I have seen in my lifetime. If you go back to the early 2000s with Nadine Naibet and Mustafa Hadji, they were pretty good, but not as complete as they are right now. Portugal, Croatia is interesting. Spain and Austria and Los Angeles is going to be pretty good. Belgium, Senegal.
Hold on. Go back. Spain, Austria, and LA is going to. That's at SoFi, right?
Yes, it is.
That's going to be crazy. At SoFi.
Yeah, it's going to be really good. But yeah, I mean, for the people that thought that this would be saturated and we'd see, a lot of weak talent in this 48-team World Cup, I mean, we've seen a lot of interesting games here, and we've seen a lot of interesting stories. Last night, I mean, the day before, on the last day of the group stage, where Austria had to, get that goal at literally on the last play of the game to tie Algeria in order to get through. And because of that result, Iran did not get through. And there's just a lot to say about that. And it's just unfortunate for Iran. But when you look at this, there's gonna be some matchups going down the line. I mean, the France-Sweden, I could see France. You see Germany, Paraguay. If those two are on a collision course, you got Portugal and Spain on a collision course, Brazil and Norway on a collision course, Argentina.
Let me back up a bit with you, Juan. Mm-hmm. You made up an earlier point, which I think we should talk about. Sean, Juan's talking about that FIFA decided to expand the tournament to encompass more teams, and they initially caught flack for that because soccer purists were saying that the lower team seeds were going to be not fun, it wouldn't be competitive, and that it was a waste of time. Is that fair to say, Juan?
Yeah, I mean, it's just the fact that if you start watering down the tournament, and there's been talks of even expanding this to 64. And yes, it gives more opportunity, but let's just face it. This is a money grab. This is also,
That's what I was
the best of the best. You want to be able to earn the title facing the best of the best. And when you start expanding into more teams, now, for example, the round of 16 that used to be always in the past, now it's a round of 32. Now you got an extra game to get to the title. Yeah. All those things. And then records are also going to be effective. Like the all-time goals record is going to definitely be affected with an extra game. So all those things are in play. But once you start expanding, you get more teams in. There's more opportunity for more people to come and watch your country play in a World Cup. But then, how watered down can this be? I mean, fortunately, there were a few blowouts. And there were some interesting things that happened, but I don't know if this is going to work all the time.
No, I'm gonna actually go against you on this one, Juan. Sean, he's making a great point, but I would say that you and I both know that sports are a business, and FIFA's not in it just because they love soccer. They're in it for the $1 billion that Fox News paid them. Fox Corporation paid them for airing the rights. Sean, without the expanded teams, a team like Cabo Verde, which everyone's fell in love with, wouldn't be there.
You're absolutely right, and that's the speaking to what Juan was saying, that's the double-edged sword. Like you take you risk the chance of that happening, where you get these teams that are going to just get blown out of the water, but then something crazy could happen, like with Cape Verde and them making it to the round of 32, which is great because it's great for the sport. Now you have the huge underdog story, and people love an underdog.
Everyone loves an underdog story.
They love an underdog. So that's the double-edged sword you get. That you get the sharp, you get the good side, and you get the bad side. So I'd like to see it expand. I mean, just not to go away from soccer, but NCAA is thinking about doing that for basketball, going from 64 to, I want to say, 72 or 76 teams or something like that. So, it gives other teams that we would never watch or never see an opportunity, and you never know. It makes for great TV because if an underdog upsets someone like, and don't get me wrong, we're not expecting Cape Verde to beat Argentina, but if it's an interesting game, that's great TV.
I would agree with you, Sean. If Cape Verde scores a goal and loses
exactly
2-1, even 3-1,
right,
it would still be a win for Cape Verde, Juan. You know what I'm saying? Like the fact that they are able to sit on the same field and be competitive. I mean, Cape Verde hasn't won a game in the earlier rounds. They've tied and had 0-0s. Am I correct?
They've tied all 3 games. They went 2-2 with Uruguay. I thought that was an amazing game that basically saved their chances of qualifying because, I mean, like I said, that is probably the story of this entire World Cup is Cape Verde. Not only are people noticing, obviously, what a great team and with the effort that they have shown, people are actually getting educated about the country and stuff like that. Like, it is going beyond. And then I didn't even know that there was a community concentrated in Boston. Of that, I instantly got educated.
All places.
Yeah. Oh man, and I'm telling you, man, I've seen the videos. It's pretty impressive.
Yes, impressive.
But I got to tell you though, but there's other stories like the Democratic Republic of Congo is another one. Interesting stat: 9 out of the 10 African countries qualified to this round of 32. That is the highest number of any World Cup in history.
Juan, do you know that I'm a psychopath and I went into KalShi and I took the continent of Africa to win it all because the bet was so good? I think it was a 2-cent bet, Sean. So I think it was bet $20 to win 100. Like, just bet it. Because why not? Because you never know, even though I don't think they can win the whole thing, but why not?
Yeah. That's amazing, man. You said that's like 5-1, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why not? Why not? You'd probably blow $20 on something else anyway. So why not?
I've blown $20 on worth. Juan, I don't know. I'm a big Messi fan now. By the way, I'm going to get myself a jersey. I know I'm probably a late oncomer to his greatness. I don't know how I felt about them bringing him off the bench to score a goal in that game when it was unnecessary. Juan, did you have an opinion on whether? I mean, of course, it's great if you're Argentinian. You want Messi to be the president of Argentina. What did you think about them bringing him off the bench to score?
They didn't. Well, it was unnecessary for him to be brought out off the bench. They gave him a little bit of run. I mean, it's not like he exhausted himself or anything like that. He never labored during that match. The goal just came simply because of a free kick that he normally takes from that position anyways. But I'll tell you what, for the people that came to watch this guy play, he gives the people what he wants. So I mean, for him to come in, it's great. I mean, the player always wants to play. It doesn't matter when you're the competitor, you want to play. It doesn't matter how old or how tired you are. You want to be able to compete. The great ones always want to show up for every game. The Jordans, the Kobes, they want to show up because you don't know, there could be some kid out there for the first time could be seeing that great player for the first time, and they don't disappoint. I mean, Argentina, they didn't even need the points, to tell you the truth. They were going to qualify in first place. They were already set to play Cape Verde, and they put on a show. I mean, Argentina is a machine, man. They are going to be a tough out. They have an easy path to maybe the semifinal. So, I mean, they're going to be a tough out in this tournament.
Yeah, I think they, of all the teams available, I think they have the most golden path to getting back to a championship match. Which brings you to my last question before we pivot to Caitlin Clark. Sean, who do you got to win it all for the World Cup now that we're in knockout rounds? This is do or die. Go home, po pimp.
Listen, I am no fool. I'm taking Argentina. I would love to. We didn't talk about the good old U.S. of A. Their chances
because they've never won one.
I know, but hey, listen, I want them to win, but listen, I'm no fool. I got Argentina to win it all. They're a machine. They've got the best player on the best team. I'd be shocked if they didn't win it all. So I got Argentina.
Juan, who do you got? I know your heart is, but what do you think is going to happen?
My heart is always Brazil. Argentina's got a nice path to the semifinal. The only team that could stop them from getting to the semifinal is Colombia if they meet. And Colombia's good, and they could play them. They could play right with them. And if they could figure out certain issues that they need to clean up, I think they could be seriously threatening to the title for their hopes. On the other side, I like France. France is loaded. France reminds me of the Brazilian team in 2002 and other teams where they were loaded with and I'm talking about mega stars. So you're talking about Mbappe.
So much speed. So much speed.
Oh, it's a complete package. If you go up and down from goalie all the way to forward, I mean, the names, it's just, a lot of them are in the prime of their career or beginning their prime of their career. It's not just Mbappe, it's Dembele, it's Dure, it's Tchouaméni. It's these guys are just so good, and they're loaded, and they're gonna be very difficult for somebody. Remember, they lost the final 4 years ago to Argentina. You don't think they're hungry enough if they were to see them in the final again? They're not going to allow themselves to get beat twice. So, we'll see. It's very difficult to repeat. It is extremely difficult to repeat as a world champion in anything. Yeah. Yes. But especially, we're talking about a window of 4 years out between tournaments, and a lot can happen. Teams get better. Other teams age. They're in transition period. They're getting older. We're going to find out at 39 years old how much Messi can manage the minutes, because obviously the manager Scaloni has got to manage his minutes in order for him to be effective.
The thing that we all know as athletes is how hard it is to get to the mountaintop, and so many times it isn't about physicality when you get there. It's about mentality, and that's why I'm taking Argentina, because even though it's hard, even though they've done it already, I just feel like they have the mental brain, the mental mind space to go, I want another one, and
Agreed.
Messi's one of those dudes. He's like Mike. He's like Brady. He just wants another one. So it's for those reasons I think Argentina is going to win. I also put a bet in for Argentina to win it all. So
I put a bet in for Portugal, and they're 9-1. And I think if Ronaldo wants, there is a path, there is a scenario that if Portugal gets to the final, they can meet Argentina in the final. And Ronaldo's got to get that one. If he wants to be at the same, they are both sitting at the same table. But if you want to nitpick, they've both won their regional championships. They both won Champions League, with their clubs. But only one's got a World Cup championship and the other one doesn't.
Yeah,
this is his last shot.
That's the gorilla in the room. Guys, let's pivot to Sean's best friend, Caitlin Clark.
This is funny. Oh my goodness,
guys! It's been an interesting week for Caitlin Clark. She had been thrown to the ground by the Phoenix Mercury and seemingly choked out. She had been left out of a WNBA poster of 30 women who seem to have been picked out of the ether, because the 30 women don't even make sense, because some of the all-star greats are not in the poster either, including Caitlin Clark. And facing technical expulsions because she has so many T's. Sean, Caitlin Clark, who was seen as the savior for the WNBA, is now seen as a lightning rod for malfeasance, anger, and non-leadership. What is your thoughts, Sean, about the Caitlin Clark backlash, for lack of a better phrase, of her career so far?
It's the media's fault, in my opinion. I have a very strong opinion about this.
Go in, because I don't agree with it. I'm going to shut my mouth.
It's absolutely the media's fault, because the media controls everything. And I know we're becoming part of the media, and we are, but they control everything. It's like this. Here's my analogy. You wanted to give this person who was a star in college the keys to the franchise, which is the WNBA, just because she's a star in college. She hasn't done anything at the pro level. So why would you give her the keys? That's like you giving your daughter the keys to the Lamborghini to drive when she doesn't even know how to drive a stick yet.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She's got to learn on the Honda, not on the Lamborghini.
Yeah.
And that's my opinion. But the media did that because it's so much money. We need to promote her. She's going to get the WNBA more money, more eyeballs. And I think that's totally wrong. I think the way the media has basically advertised her, and the WNBA kind of followed suit. I think it's all wrong. When has a player in any sport ever come, no matter how highly touted they were coming out of college or wherever they came from before they played professionally, when has the league ever given them the keys?
Doesn't happen.
Michael Jordan didn't have it.
Right, nobody
Magic
had it.
Johnson didn't have it.
Yeah.
Nobody. And you know what I'm saying? So that's the issue for me. That's what I see. So and that's why you get the mistake of not putting her on that. She's she's the way she acts on the basketball court is very entitled. Like, hey, I'm the star, so she gets to yell at the refs and say what she wants, but these refs are human beings, just like, even though they get it wrong, we know they're not doing the best, but you get to yelling at these guys, and they're like, you know what, I'm not going to tolerate that, and that's why she's one tech away from being suspended. So that's my take on it.
Sean's got a hot take there, buddy. Go ahead and go in before I go. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, I can agree for the most part with Sean, but to your analogy, you got to learn how to drive before you walk in that Honda, though. But with Caitlin Clark, I mean, look, as far as the poster, I think she deserved to be on that poster, because whether they could admit it or not, when she stepped on the court, there were eyeballs, and also helped in the negotiations and the labor negotiations to get the things that they needed. So if she never existed or she never came about, do you get all the things that they possibly could have gotten in the labor negotiations? I don't know. Maybe not. So I get it. Like, it seems like that, with the entitlement and all these things, there's been a lot of the backlash and a lot of the things that have been a little bit questionable. And it was funny, though. It's funny how the contrast between her and Angel Reese, where Angel Reese was labeled exactly with how she's being labeled now. And now Angel Reese is kind of like, they're not even talking about her right now, because as long as you stay out of the limelight, you don't have to worry about the criticism. But Caitlin Clark, I think, but the league also has a little bit of fault in this, because this player is one of your biggest stars in the league. Like it or not, you could think what you want to think. The stars are protected, and for whatever reason, she's not being protected. You don't put her on this poster. Like, what are you trying to say? Because if you're a league that, yes, you want to value all the pioneers that, made this league what it is today, you can't just leave out that the person that actually was the drop that actually, made the entire cup of water spill over. You can't just negate that. And I just think that the league has to do a better job, one, protecting its players, because the league is becoming more physical. I like the physicality, but there's a line here where they're pushing it. The players are starting to get into some fights. I mean, what do you need? You need the Palace of Auburn Hills incident, something serious for them to say, you know what, we're gonna have to cut this physicality back. You got to be careful with how you treat your stars. You got to protect them. You got to market them. And to just snub them, you're not really doing yourselves a favor as a league if you're doing that.
Guys, you know what? We're all here. We all have different brains. And that's fine, right? Listen, every person has their own mind and the way that they play the game and the way that they do things. This was set up early as a white versus black thing, that there was some entitlement that came in because she's a white heterosexual woman, right? I felt like maybe that was a bit overplayed, because there have been white players in the league before that balled out and didn't kind of face that same scrutiny. Della Donna, white woman, nobody said nothing to her. What's your girl from UConn, Sean?
Is it
Diana Taurasi?
Diana Taurasi. So I didn't.
Sabrina Ionescu.
Sabrina Ionescu. I don't know if I agree with the white narrative. I think the fact that she came in with so many eyeballs and brought millions behind her and was already rich before she came to the league probably had more to do with it, because that breeds jealousy. I agree with Juan. I don't feel like she was protected in a way that you would protect a star player. I don't mind the physicality so much. And then you have the next generation of kids coming in. You have your AZ Fuds. You have your what's her name from Dallas again? The white girl.
Paige Beckers.
Paige Beckers, who's an absolute baller. She doesn't get any backlash for being a white woman in the league. So there's something about Caitlin Clark that makes people annoyed. Now, I've watched some of the games for Indiana. She barks a lot. She chirps a lot, right? So I think the thing that bothers me as a ball player is if you chirp and you bark, then be that. Don't chirp and bark and then get mad when people chirp and bark back or when people want to check you, because that's what it is. I've played on both sides of that. I was never a big talker, but if somebody starts talking, I can talk, right? If you want to be, that type of player, then you're going to have to accept those type of circumstances and repercussions. So I feel like she earned every single text she got. I do. I feel like Shorty was wrong for putting her throat around her neck as well. I feel like that suspension was warranted, and I honestly, this is, breaking news. I don't even feel like she's the best player in the league.
I don't think she's the best player in the league.
He's not.
No,
not at all.
I would. There was probably 5 or 6, 7, 8 other players I would take over her. But I'm not an idiot. I'm also aware that she brings eyeballs for whatever reason that she, whether it's her aura or the way she did it or what have you. That's fine. That's not for me to understand. I would take goggles from the Minnesota Lynx all day.
Oh, Olivia Miles.
Olivia Miles
man.
is nice.
She's a problem.
right?
Hand her the trophy right now.
But
Hand her
here's
the
the
MVP
irony.
trophy.
Olivia Miles is out there chirping, and they don't come at her like that. So there's something about Caitlin Clark that is extremely unlikable. I'm not even talking about you hopping on a country music guy's stage who, use the N-word by the cop. Like, I'm not even talking about that. I'm just talking about whatever it is that she brings is highly unlikable. I'm not with you, Sean. I don't think it's the media fault. I think media narratives are created and burned all the time because their job is to print newspapers and get eyeballs. At the end of the day, when she's on the floor and she's the one chirping and running her mouth, she's the one getting the repercussions. And she can't even really hold up. Her numbers aren't even that great, bro. That's my biggest issue, Sean.
Yeah, and listen, you're not wrong. I can agree with that. But the thing is the narrative that's always pushed. This league has been around before she got here. She's what, 2 or 3 years in, and the league was making the progression. Like they were going to get these things regardless. Now with her coming in, they got it sooner than later. That's my belief. And so when you have someone that come in that didn't prove themselves and hasn't done anything yet, and then they're getting all this. She's getting a lot of coddling, in my opinion. It's like it's really it breeds that disdain, and I think a lot of people. And then her fan base. We know who her fan base is. We know what it is.
Yeah.
And so that's
say it.
Her
fan base is mostly whites, a lot of white males who for some reason idolize her as some sort of white superiority like trophy.
Yeah,
and she
like
ain't
a
even
savior.
like and she's like, I'm not even like that. So that's not even her fault.
It's not, and what I'm saying, nothing. All the stuff we're talking about, I'm not saying it's her fault.
Right.
I'm saying the way she's being projected and basically put out into the public, that's what it is. And so people have their opinions, and that's what happens. You form your opinion. Oh, this is her fan base. This is who they want to protect her. They want to coddle her. She's the greatest thing since sliced bread. So, and then they talk about, you know what I'm saying? They talking about, oh, she's being targeted. No. And then the play with Alyssa Thomas, who's one of the league's greats, it was, if you saw it, her hand slipped off of her shoulder. Looks like she had her fist in her neck.
I feel like she pushed off on her neck.
Well, she probably, but you play basketball.
Yeah.
Have you fallen on somebody and pushed off
On their neck?
to get up? Listen, if your hand slips, it doesn't matter where it is.
No,
It happens.
No, I get it.
It's
but
basketball.
let me interject. Sean, I know it's basketball. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, it's basketball.
My point
that's
is
my
like
point.
a Sophie Cham one. Sophie Cham, you know why Sophie Cham is so great? Because she's just okay with who she is.
Right.
She talks spit, swallows spit, and she smacks girls around. And if you come for her, she's coming for you, and that's why she's popular. Sophie Cham has no illusions of who she is, right? I feel like Caitlin Clark is trying to play this in between of also being a huge star, talking smack, trying to just be who you are, bro. Like, don't worry that you have, all these crazy people who are behind you. Just be who you are, Juan.
Yeah, it's just got to own it. But to the judgment and perceptions, there are judgments and perceptions like undertones and stuff like that. Like who can you test, who can you mess with, and who you can't mess with. And there are some racial tones in that. If like for example, people didn't mess with Dennis Rodman, or you didn't mess with Ron Artest, But for example, like if let's say if they weren't black, let's say could you mess with White Chocolate? He was about it. And there were other dudes that you could test, but you got to prove yourself. So, but then, and also your teammates got to have your back on it.
What's the dude from the New Zealand guy? White dude. He's huge. Nobody messes with him.
You're talking about Steven Adams.
Steven Adams.
Oh, Steven Adams. You don't mess with that dude. That dude is a huge man.
So that's why I say it's not always just about skin tone. It's about who you are as a person. Dennis Rodman wore a dress and fingernails before people were cool wearing dresses and fingernails like today.
I know.
That's true.
But there's always this perception, like, they always get this curiosity. You know what? If I test this person, do they really got it in them? But it's up to her to stand her own ground and see if she's about it,
Right.
Yes,
she's not real. She's not really like that. Sophie Cham is like that.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is.
She headlocked the chick. It's like, bring it over here.
That's what I'm saying.
Speaking of Sophie Cunningham, right?
I'm sorry. Sophie Cunningham.
Sophie Cunningham, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Sophie Cunningham. Bring it over here. I'm for that.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah, Marina Mabry's like that too. Marina Mabry is.
That's what I'm saying. I've seen her play.
Yeah.
These people ain't worried about it. You know what? I mean, it's already physical as it is. And some of these girls, they got some fight in them. Yeah. So they want to be tested. Sometimes they want this action. They don't care.
That's what I'm saying. So my point is with the whole Caitlin Clark slander, whether you love her or hate her, I think she would further serve her brand if she was just more authentic to herself, right? She does like to chirp on the court. She barks at referees like Luka barks at refs.
Yep.
Like she's crazy with it. That's who she is. But you can't then take the tease and be like, oh, I can't believe they're targeting me. No, bro. Just either be quiet or be a chirper. You know what I mean? Draymond Green, he knows who he is. That's who he is. You love him or hate him, that's who Draymond is. So I just think she'd be far better off to just accept that. Guys, we just run our mouths here. Beat the Best podcast every week, releasing on Mondays. Juan, any last words about the World Cup before we get out of here?
I hope. I'm hoping and praying that my team, El Scratch de Oro, Brazil, comes up with a good result against Japan and it moves on. Obviously, for betting purposes, I have Portugal and seeing if Ronaldo could get at least the final. And then I just want to see good matchups. As much as I love Cape Verde, has been awesome. They just ran into Argentina, man. It's just, I'm sorry, dude. They can dance and celebrate all, and there'll be a great party. I think they're playing in Miami. So I'll tell you what, though, if there's a place to be, for that matchup. You're in Miami, you got Cape Verde, and you got Argentina. Oh man, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be all right.
They're gonna be fine. Sean, any last words?
Yeah, WNBA, get your act together. Whoever did the poster, they need to be reprimanded.
Yes.
I don't want to call for anybody to get fired, but you need to be reprimanded. You got to be better. The image has got to be better. Clean up the refereeing. It's got to be better because the league is growing. It's got the eyeballs. You've got the players. You've got the talent, and you've got more talent coming in the upcoming years. Juju Watkins will be there. Hannah Hidalgo is coming.
Yeah.
There's so many different players that are coming to this league and are going to make this league better. So you gotta clean it up and get it together.
Yeah, let me piggyback on that, Sean, on the way out. I agree 100% with what you said. Also, it's not a small money league no more. You're not paying these chicks $30,000 to just sit around. You're paying these girls millions now. So with that ticket price comes a new standard that we are expecting. So the WNBA has to get it together. Guys, see us next week. It's going to be a great week for the World Cup. For Juan, for Sean, we will catch you on the flip side.